What's up guys, it's Steven Skunberg here with Academy.fm, and today we're going to be talking about negotiating with influencers. Okay, so this is something for the past 3 years I've actually had a lot of experience with. Everything from negotiating with YouTubers to actually promote our brand, getting custom content made. I've negotiated a lot of prices. I've overpaid for stuff. I've paid $5,000 for a video that probably wasn't the best idea, and I've also paid $200, $100 here and there and gotten great returns, right? I've done all different kinds of deals. I've done different deals with certain blogs in the music world especially. I've done deals where I get promotion on Facebook fan pages and also Instagrams, so I've really tried out a bunch of different stuff in different industries, and I realized that negotiation is one of the most important parts about really doing some influencer marketing. So I wanted to make a video about it, really going over how I approach it and what my strategy is for doing negotiations with these influencers. I want to quickly go over why negotiating is so important when it comes to working with influencers. Honestly, the first thing is that it's a gamble. Okay, you don't know if you're going to get that return on investment. You might pay $500 for a certain post on Instagram and it might do nothing. And you might hit on another influencer that you pay $500 and it makes you back $5,000. Okay, it's really that drastic when it comes to influencers. And the negotiation part is so important because so many people end up overpaying. And a lot of this really comes down to, honestly, when you do talk to that person, to really set the tone. So I'm going to give you a couple quick tips here on setting the tone and really getting the price you want, and then really building the relationship long term so you can keep those good deals coming with those influencers. So the first thing you have to understand is that the first time you do a deal, whether it be with a YouTuber, an Instagram influencer, a blog, somebody with an email list, whatever type of person you're working with, the first time you work with them is the most important time to structure the best possible deal for yourself, okay? And let me tell you why. You don't know if that person, first off, is going to be somebody who does really well for your brand or completely flops, okay? If you're gonna do influencer marketing, first off, you're gonna experience both. So that first time is the best time to actually use that point as a point of leverage. So you could go up to people, and I do this all the time, and it makes a lot of sense. I'll say, hey, this is the first time promoting with your channel, and honestly, I think there could be an awesome long-term relationship. We're looking to pay a lot of different influencers for stuff, but we want to see how well you perform. So I was wondering, for this first video, could you do it maybe for like $100? Boom, it makes a lot of sense because if it does well, you can then pay that person more. But if it does bad, you're minimizing your losses. And that first point, it makes so much sense that, hey, we don't know how well you work. That person is making content nonstop anyways, and they probably don't get that many deals. So that first time, if you negotiate that cheaper price, the best part about it is it keeps you safe, and then you get to see what happens, because what you need to do is you need to measure that progress, okay? So if they're promoting, let's say, a product page or something like that, you need to measure and see exactly how many people are clicking that link and actually converting. Okay, that's very, very, very important. All right, the second reason that tactic is really so good is because when you go to negotiate video number 2 or video number 3, the awesome part about it is you kind of have this point of like, hey, here's how much the deal was worth last time. Yes, you said, hey, let's do this for a test video. Yes, it was your first deal and stuff like that. You told the person that, hey, we can negotiate more in the future, but you have a couple different things that really play to your advantage at this point of the second negotiation. And that first thing that's really going to help you in that point is the fact that, hey, you have the results of the last campaign or the last promo video. If it didn't do well, it probably isn't even worth that $100 you paid, or that $200, or that $500 you paid, right? But if it does really, really well, maybe then that's a point where you can allow some flexibility to raise the price for that influencer, right? It's a really safe way to move forward. And that second negotiation, the whole conversation is based around that first price. So if you started the first video at, let's say, $1,000, you know how hard it is to come down to 500 versus starting at 100, and then if it's worth it, moving up to 3 to 4 to 500, right, for another video. It's much, much easier, and it puts you in a much better position. So the second thing is that this is going to help you with that longer term negotiation and relationship. The third thing that's going to be really important when it comes to negotiating is actually getting a lot of different influencers and understanding their metrics, because that'll really help the negotiation as well. So for example, if you have 2 influencers and each have 100,000 subscribers, look at the actual views, look at the actual comments on the videos, for example, or how much engagement they're getting on their post, and look for that die-hard fan base, okay? Some people use bots to grow their accounts. Some people, their accounts have kind of grown stale because they don't post that much content, and some people have the most die-hard fans that would do anything and buy anything that they tell them. And you need to kind of look for that. And honestly, as you start to look through a bunch, you'll start to kind of get a good sense for what that is. But the reason this is so important is because let's say you get a certain price with one influencer, you can say, hey, I'm paying this guy this much and he has 3 times the amount of followers and engagement than you do. I don't know, let's try this first because I don't think it's going to perform as well. Or like, hey, this is what we're kind of getting, we think it's a bit overpriced. And honestly, it'll put you in a less needy situation. Because I've seen some people who go approach working with influencers, and they are like trying to work with them. They're like dying, like, please make the post, and they end up overpaying and wasting a ton of money. Like, screw that. Like those influencers are dying for you to come promote them. They would love the chance to get their channel promoted or whatever it is, so they don't have to work their day job or whatever it may be, okay? You're not the one that's needy. And I can't express how that abundance of having so many different options helps you negotiate. Because if somebody's being rough on negotiations and they're not taking anything less than 2,000, you could just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go just talk to these guys, right? It doesn't matter. And then that runaway a lot of times will end up attracting the person. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. How about we, try it out for a cheaper price, okay? So when you're not in that needy position, you have a lot more power in the whole negotiation, and a lot of that really comes from understanding exactly what's out there in the market in terms of different influencers and how engaging their audiences is. So if you really study up, understand the audiences really well, start off with that test point of negotiation, measure the metrics really well, and then base all future negotiations off that, I guarantee you're gonna have a lot of success. You're gonna be able to get some cheap influencer marketing, and I think you're gonna do really, really well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button. And other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Peace out.